Tonight we're going to do a macaroni and cheese. This is a macaroni and cheese pretty much from scratch. It's a really good recipe I've used. We're going to put some shrimp in some of it too, so it's going to be kind of seafood mac and cheese. It's going to come out really good, I believe. We're just going to roll with it. So first off, tonight I'm going to bake off some shrimp in the oven. I've got about a pound, no, it's about 2 pounds of peeled shrimp. Here, probably about a 45 count, 40-50 count. That means how many is to a pound. I'm gonna melt some butter. I got, I guess, about 3 tablespoons of butter, a little bit of minced garlic, a little bit of olive oil in here. I'm gonna melt that down real quick, and we're gonna pour up that shrimp. Also, I'm gonna add to that mixture. You see, I'm gonna put a little bit of this liquid crab oil, and I just like this hot stuff, so you be careful with this if you decide to use this. I'm gonna put a little bit in there, but that's gonna get some real heat to it. So I'm gonna go ahead and I'm gonna heat that in the microwave, and I'm gonna pour it over these shrimp. Okay, got that stuff melted down. Like I said, if you're not really used to some heat, leave that crab bowl out of here. Just melt you down some butter, and we're gonna pour this over these shrimp. Now I got my oven preheated 350 degrees. All right. And what we're doing, we're basically, see there's some garlic I had in the bottom there. That garlic's gonna be real good in there. Basically what we're gonna do is just pre-cook these shrimp a little bit to get some of the water out of them. I'm gonna put a little Slappy Mom on here. Then again, this is optional. You could just use a good blackened seafood seasoning, something like that would be real good. Here's another thing. I used a little rosemary, a little bit of rosemary on them. Always brings out a good flavor. You can put some wine in here. I ain't got no wine. Wine would be good. I got some Old Bay. I like Old Bay. It's not spicy. It's just got a nice flavor to it. Let's go ahead and coat these up good with some Old Bay. We're just going to get a good seasoning on these shrimp. And then get those coated nicely. I'm going to mix them around a little bit. That way we get all sides coated, everything coated here. You don't want to just season one little part of the shrimp. Like I said, we're going to cook these, and when shrimp cook, they release a lot of water. That's why I want to go ahead and cook them first, separate from the macaroni and the cheese sauce and everything. Get some of that water, drain some of that stuff off, because I don't want to make the macaroni too watery. Okay, there wants a little bit more Old Bay. I'm going to go ahead and put these in this 350 degree oven. We just let them bake a while, check them after about 15 minutes. My next step I'm going to go ahead and do, well, got my water almost boiling. Then let this water come to a boil, and I've got some penne pasta I'm going to put in here. It says in the instructions, put a pound of this in a gallon of water and let it boil. Let's see what it says, about 15 minutes. So I'm going to do that, and we'll go ahead and get this pasta started before we start on the rest of the stuff. Yeah. Roll. In. Let's see, over here this hot spot, and let that go for about 13 minutes. Okay, let these shrimp cook about 15 minutes. What I did is I took them out in a shot and put them in some ice cold water. I forgot to show that step, but that stopped them from cooking. They're cooked just perfectly right now, and they're just kind of chill. Almost like, shrimp cocktail shrimp. Really, really good. And they had a lot of spice on them, so they still have plenty of spice now. So I'm going to go ahead and set these aside, and we'll get started putting together the rest of the recipe. Okay, now what we're going to do, first off, we're going to get started on our roux for this macaroni. I've got 6 tablespoons of butter. And by the way, this is the double recipe I'm making, so you can cut everything in half. If you just want to make one pan, I'm going to make some with the shrimp and some with not the shrimp. So I've got 6 tablespoons of butter. I'm going to melt that down on medium-high heat. And then I've got about 5 tablespoons of flour, 5 or 6 tablespoons of flour, and 2 tablespoons of mustard powder. You need that mustard powder in there, don't forget that. And we're going to put that in there with this butter, and we're going to make us a roux. As soon as we get this butter melted down, we'll start on that. Alright, we got this butter melted. Go ahead with the flour and the mustard powder. Start to stir that around in there.
Make a roux, brown this flour down. Go ahead and break up all them lumps. Get this going. Very important that you stir this constantly. Which, if you can see a little bit closer here. You don't want to walk away from this, no sir. Now just a bit. Now I've got lumps brought up, I'm putting my little roux stirring device. You see, he'll stir that roux for me. You gotta stir it constantly. What I'm gonna do, I'm gonna set this aside on another burner and let it stir, because I want to let this flour cook about 5 minutes. And now I got a bigger pot on here. I've got a cup of diced onions. Cut these up. These are actually frozen ones. I've just gotten kind of spoiled using those. So I'm going to go ahead and throw these in here and let those saute for a minute. Get a little bit clear. Get it thawed out. Alright, now that onions cooked a little bit here, go ahead and add we've got 2 bay leaves and a teaspoon of paprika and a little bit of sloppy mama. About a teaspoon. Add that just for a second. I'm going to just move that around there just to release some of that flavor. Don't want to burn the spice. All right, now I'm going to start going in with some milk. I got 6 cups of milk here. Put in a little bit there. Let's see. Got my milk. I'm going to go ahead and put the rest of that in there. Comes 2 cups, and here comes 4 cups. So we got 4 cups of milk in there. We got a teaspoon of paprika and about a teaspoon of sloppy mama and 2 bay leaves. Now, I'm still about on medium heat on this burner. And I took that roux off the heat, by the way, but I'm still letting my little guy stir it. So that's what you want, about a peanut butter, about a 5-minute roux there. And so I'm going to let this sit here and simmer for about 10 minutes, which you want this just to simmer. Okay, now that I've had my milk mixture sitting there simmering for about 5 minutes, I'm going to go ahead and take it off the heat. Now I'm going to add this roux. Okay, and we're going to be sure to be stirring really good when we add this roux in here, because we don't want this roux to just clump up. And go ahead and add this roux to this mixture. Actually, you could have made the roux in this big pot here and added all the milk and everything to it. Go ahead and get that pan off and go ahead and stir that in. And what this is going to do is going to start thickening this up. So I'm going to go ahead and mix it around real good. I'm going to put it back on the heat over here, and I'm going to let it simmer for another about 7 or 8 minutes. Okay, and also while this is simmering, I'm going to go ahead and add a little seafood seasoning. This is almost like it's called better than bouillon. This is their lobster base. It's almost like a lobster or shellfish, bouillon or seasoning. What I did says you can make a stock out of 1 tablespoon of the. It's almost like a paste to 1 cup of water. But I didn't want to put that much water in here, so I mixed 1 tablespoon of the seafood stock maker, the shellfish stock stuff, with probably about 2 tablespoons of water. So we'll pour this concentrate in here. And the only reason I'm doing this is because, like I said, we're going to put these shrimp and stuff in there. We'll give it a little bit of seafood taste. So we'll go ahead and mix that in here and let that simmer in with it. Okay, at this point, it's been simmering here for about another 7 or 8 minutes. Went ahead and got the bay leaves out. Just those over here. I'm going to put those in the final product. Now what I'm going to do, I've got those 2 eggs, beaten 2 eggs. We need to temper these in there. What I mean by tempering, you take your eggs, you take a little bit of your hot liquid, and we want to mix these in with these cold eggs. Because if you was to pour these eggs straight in there, it'd just scramble these eggs. You'd have like a milky egg drop soup or something. So go ahead, I'll put a little bit of hot liquid in the egg and we'll stir it around. Go with a little bit more. Like I said, this is called tempering. And this is how you introduce something cold like eggs that's going to cook. Or you can do it with cornstarch too to keep it from clumping up. We just got to temper it in there. Go ahead, we'll get this, plenty of this liquid in there and just stir it up. And then we're going to go ahead and introduce it into the pot. Just want to make sure it's not clumping, not cooking them eggs. go. A little bit more there. You said that's 2 eggs, so probably want to do a couple, 3/4 of the tempering method. We'll go ahead and move this out of the way. So, just pour these eggs in there. Now, pour them all in there, and we'll just stir this. Keep it stirred. Now it is time to add the cheese. Now, when you get your cheese for this recipe, you want to get it by weight, not by just the bulk of the cheese. And this is 18 ounces of shredded cheese. I actually got a cheddar Monterey Jack blend. You can do just straight sharp cheddar, whatever you like. What you want to do, you want to take a big handful of it, put it in there, and I'm going to stir it in. You got to take your time introducing this cheese, or else it won't melt right. It'll be real clumpy. So you want to go ahead and stir it in about a handful at a time. As soon as you big handful, as soon as you see that melt, go ahead and stir the next handful in. Keep on going till you get all this cheese in there, get it all melted down. Okay, at this point, after you fold all your cheese in, you want to go ahead and taste it for salt and flavor. And I did, and it's really good. Now I'm going to take this cooked macaroni here, or this penne, and start putting it in. Just want to fold it in. Good. That was a pound of cooked pasta. And I went ahead and cooked some more. I had some elbow macaroni just in case this wasn't quite enough. You see how it's not looking. Let me zoom in here a little bit. Like I say, I tried to double the recipe and it kind of messed up a little bit. It looks like I could use a little bit more pasta. So we're done here. I've got some of this elbow macaroni. I'll put a little bit of this in there. This is about a half pound. Put about half of that, so that's about a 1/4 pound of the elbow in there. This will give us a nice little texture. Give us some small pasta noodles and some large ones. Go ahead and mix that in there. Maybe a little bit more. We got clean hands here. So now I'm gonna make my decision whether I'm gonna shrimp in all this or just part of it plain, and we'll see about putting the shrimp in there. Let's say so. Put some out, put it in the Pyrex pan without the shrimp in there. I don't know why she wants them without shrimp, but we will. So now I got my shrimp here. 2 pounds, a pound and a half I've been eating on them. These shrimp, I'm gonna mix these in there. We'll go with it. Man, that's looking good. Look at that. All the shrimp, those pasta noodles, everything is good. I said we're gonna take this off the heat, and I'm gonna prepare a little. Like I said, that's how it looks. Looks really good. We got the shrimp, we got the pasta in there. I'm gonna prepare a little topping. I'll show you how to do that. Okay, for this topping, I've melted 5 tablespoons of butter. I've got 2 cups of panko Japanese breadcrumbs. I'm gonna pour these in there. And all we're gonna do, I've done this for other topping too. We're just gonna brown these breadcrumbs in this butter on about medium heat just for a couple of minutes, just to toast them a little bit. You don't have to do this step, but it gives the macaroni a nice little crunch right there on top, and it's really good after it bakes off in the oven. So we're gonna mix this in here, and let's just cook just a few minutes until it just turns a little bit brown. Okay, once you start flipping over, you see it turn a little bit, just a little bit brown, some of the little pieces. That's good enough, but you don't want to skip this step. If you just put that plain panko on there without toasting a little bit like this, it gets to be a little bit grainy. But you put a little butter, or you could do a little olive oil or something like that, and just toast this panko. It's a lot better. So now we're going to go to assemble this dish. Okay, we got a slightly, whoa. Oh, about lost the camera. Got a slightly old little Pyrex pan there. Got my mac shrimp. And I made another little one, without the shrimp, stuff like that. Like I said, That's my mac recipe too. You know, you just use the regular mac and cheese, but when you got the shrimp, you got some good fresh shrimp. I don't see why not use them. You know what I'm saying? So I'm gonna just kind of mix this around here just for a second, get your shrimp distributed. I'm gonna kind of press this down. Because man, this is gonna cook. It's gonna bake, and everything's gonna get nice and gooey and stuck together. And it's gonna be really, really good. So go ahead and just pat this out a little bit. Get it tightly packed in this Pyrex. Let's get even. Now what I want to do is I've got some more of this cheese left. We'll do it in layers here. Go ahead and sprinkle some of this cheese on top of there. I have a nice little gooey layer to the top. Get some cheese on there. Too much. You know, you don't want a big old glob of cheese on top, but if you like that sort of thing, that's fine. Put more. I just want a little bit of cheese left on the top there. Okay. With that, and on top of this cheese, I'm going to come in with these breadcrumbs. I'm just going to sprinkle these. Ooh, that's hot still. That's still brine in that pan there. Go ahead and just start sprinkling these breadcrumbs. You get the idea. Oop, see, put a big old clump right there. You don't want to do that. And we just kind of sprinkle them. Sprinkle them around because this will give it a little bit of crispiness at the top. So we'll go ahead and do this. We'll get the breadcrumbs spread out on there and we're going to pop it in the oven. Okay, so I got the breadcrumbs spread on there like that. I'm going to pop it in the oven now for 20 minutes. I'll go ahead and show you the other one over here. See, we got that one done up too. So we'll pop these in the oven for 20 minutes and they're going to be good. Okay, they've been there about 20 minutes. Go ahead and get them out. Man, nice golden brown color. It's just how you want to look, just like that. Get that a little bit closer. There we go. It's nice, bubbling. Really, really nice. And this one too. What we'll do, we'll let these sit here on the counter. You gotta let them sit for at least about 5 minutes. I'm gonna let them sit and just settle there, finish bubbling everything, let all that cheese and everything congeal so we can cut them. They're gonna be real good. Okay, it's been about 5-6 minutes. And you cut this piece. Wow. Smells great. I know it tastes great because I've had it. Scoop that on out of there. Wow, that's some gooey cheese. So I'm gonna drop. Alright, go ahead and put that on the plate. Be a nice little crust there. Plenty of shrimp. Plenty of noodles. You get that crust. And man, I know it's good. Let me go ahead and try it just to see. Got the good bite here with this shrimp. You got some macaroni on here. Wow. Perfect. Great cheesy taste to it. You taste that seafood in there. That shrimp. Got that little bit of crunch. Real cheesy. You gotta try it. Even if you don't make it with the shrimp, you can make it with just about any seafood. You can put lobster in here. You can put crab meat. Or like I said, you don't even have to make it with the seafood in there. You can just make it normal. And that's still real good. But you gotta try this. This is a really good recipe for macaroni and cheese. I like to put the seafood in there. I think it makes it a little better. You probably can put some sausage in there. That'd be real good. We'll enjoy it.